guess we're doing this. Hi everyone, my name is Saba and I'm the face behind the Chatty Wallflower. Welcome to this channel and the first video I'm making. This is going to be a knitting podcast format for this first video, and I have a tiny human sleeping in the other bedroom, so this video can be somewhere from 5 minutes honestly to 50 minutes depending on her nap time and how much time she decides to give me. If YouTube algorithm brought you here, chances are that you've seen knitting podcasts before and you're familiar with the format. So grab yourself a cozy drink or your whip that you're working on, or really whatever you want to do. I have a quarter cup of coffee that I'm really excited about, so let's get started. So I started this channel because of really a couple of reasons. One is that I have a separate YouTube channel that's education based and I love it. It's my first YouTube baby. But throughout the past year, I've been pregnant, I've been busy with a newborn. So I ended up losing my mojo for making education-based videos where I have to spend so much time researching the topics, writing a script and editing. And it became too much for me, so I completely lost my mojo. But I discovered knitting channels, people like Bethany from Well Loved Knits or Emily from High Fiber Knits, and I just love watching them. It brings me so much joy, and they inspired me to start my own channel and record my own journey, and I'm really excited about this. This kind of a more casual format where I get to just sit down and talk, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. If you're a beginner knitter or you're a professional knitter, hopefully you enjoy this video. I'm going to share my journey and talk about my knitting and my motherhood journey. So it's going to be a beautiful, chaotic kitchen sink of all topics, but hopefully you will enjoy this video. So let's get started. My little one right now is 3 months old, and where I am in Michigan, we're in October, so the weather is getting chilly. So my goal for this fall slash winter is still to knit her some cute garments and be able to take her out and be like, hey, I made this for her, and be very proud of it. My knitting journey started in, I would say, winter of 2020, but I did crochet before. I started crocheting when I was in dental hygiene school back in 2018. I started crocheting because I wanted to improve my dexterity, and I figured, okay, there's just a tiny hook that I have to go in and grab a yarn, and so in my brain this sounded like a perfect opportunity to combine a craft, working with my hands, with improving my dexterity. Okay, my little one was screaming, but I'm back now. She's back in her crib. As I was saying, I started crocheting to improve my dexterity when I was in dental hygiene school, and I got really into making crocheted toys. I think they're called amigurumis, and I was really happy about it. I had a ton of fun making them, and I think garment wise, at most I made a headband. In my head, because I started crocheting toys, crocheting was for making cutesy little toys, but knitting was big girl stuff. I know it's not like that, but I've always seen my mom and my grandmother knit, so in my head it was this big project that you don't make cute stuff. But in 2019-2020, I wanted to knit a garment, gift a garment to my partner. I think I made him gloves, and I couldn't find a crochet pattern for making gloves, and I started to dabble in knitting and kind of teach myself how to knit. And that was the start of my knitting journey. And those gloves, not the best outcome, but he likes them, he still wears them, so, but you know, I think it's a win. And since then I've been knitting, I would say, baby projects like hats and scarves and gloves, but I've just recently started knitting a complete garment, like cardigans and sweaters. And so I would say I'm a very beginner knitter. I know the basic stitches, but I'm kind of improving my craft as I'm going. I still have to Google every single terminology, not every single terminology, but most of them like 10 times. And then for my next project, I have to research them again. But let me show you what I have on my needles. The first thing I have, which I'm super excited about, is this little number. This is the Selma sleeping suit by Petite Knit, and I'm doing it in this exact same color as she had hers. And look how adorable this is. It has the little hoodie, and I hope you can see it through the camera, but this is the body of it. And I'm a decent way through the pattern. I just did the 4th button hole, so minus the hands and the legs. I'm almost done with it. Well, I'm not almost done, but given how slow I usually knit, I'm very impressed with myself that this is the progress I've got in a month. And I usually just knit in the evening when I'm just winding down. This is a raglan and all garter stitch. Garter stitch, I'll be honest, is not my favorite stitch. Not aesthetically, just working on it. I get a little bored, but at the same time, you don't need to think about it too much. You can just watch TV or talk, and you get it done for the most part without making any mistakes. But I'm really excited to make the arms and the legs because they have this kind of a fold over. And this was my first time making a raglan increase. There's a little bit of a hole in here, if you can see it. Definitely knitter's error, not the pattern error, but I'm very impressed with myself. Like, look at it. You can tell it's a garment. And the yarn I used for this is the yarn she actually suggested is the CaMaRose Snefnug. It translates into a snowflake, and I have it in the color Snow White. This is a 55% alpaca, 35% cotton, and 10% fine merino wool. This is, I feel like this yarn is so luxurious and soft, and it's very blown out, so it's very airy. I think texture wise it's perfect for wearing as a sleeping suit or something on top of all the clothing that my child has. For going out, I'm really excited about it. My only hesitation about this yarn is that it's kind of, if you can see on the camera, it sheds a little bit. So when I am working on it and I'm wearing black pants, I always end up with a lot of shedding on my pants. I'm hoping after blocking it, all the little flyaways will go away. But if not, it's not a big deal. It's still a very pretty yarn. It's very soft, and next to skin, it feels really nice. So I know it will be gentle on my daughter's skin as well. And I chose the color Snow White because I think it's just a safe color. It's not safe in terms of stains, I know that, but it just goes with everything. It's very beautiful, and I feel like a proper millennial mom. Most of her wardrobe is neutral with pops of color, so I think this will serve the purpose. And Petite knit in her hi honey. She is up but she's playing with herself so it's okay. So Petite knit in her pictures for the Selma sleeping suit, her child is wearing a bonnet with the suit, which I was initially against bonnets. I just didn't like them. But after seeing her picture, I think it just looks so dang cute that I want to have a bonnet too. And for that, I'm going to use this leftover yarn from Wool and the Gang. I'm going to use for making a bonnet, and I also have the pattern for the bonnet. This is the ONE MERINO in the color Coral Crush. This is a superwash worsted yarn. I got this yarn because I got the kit for Baby Love Set, which is a onesie and a bonnet, and I never knit the bonnet because I wasn't into it up until now, because I think these two together, they look really nice. It's white and muted, and then you have your pop of color. And my daughter, she has my skin tone and blondish hair, so I think this will go really nice. And speaking of Baby Love Set, this is the onesie that I made, and this is the first full garment that I've ever knit, and I'm also very proud of this. I've made plenty of mistakes. If you look closely in the back, I missed a row of this pattern, but I don't care. This looks very cute, and it has tiny, it looks, I think it's a flower, but originally I thought it was sun. It has tiny buttons, so how can you not love this? So I think in fall and winter, she'll be wearing this a lot, whether on its own for pictures, or I'll put on a plain white onesie underneath it, or a cream onesie, and she will look very cute in it. So this is my plan for the leftover, the ONE MERINO skein that I have. I actually have 2 or 3 skeins left because I ordered more than I needed to by mistake. But I wasn't gonna return it. I think the color is too cute, and I figured I'll just make something. So that's that. The next whip I have on my needles is this little number, which right now is just a 1x1 ribbing. I'm knitting it in circle. This is gonna turn into a pair of pants for my little one again. I feel like all I'm doing is for her, which I'm very happy about. I chose to do this. I'm excited to start with tiny human garments. This again was a case of me having leftover yarn, and I wanted to put it to good use. This is the ALPACHINO MERINO from Wool and the Gang in the colorway Chestnut Brown. This is a bulky weight yarn, and I found this free pattern for, it's like harem pants for babies. They, I think, recommend a less bulkier yarn, but this is a yarn I had, so we're going with it. We're gonna see how it turns out. Hopefully it will fit my child. If not, she'll wear it when she's older. It's fine. The reason I really wanted to knit her a pair of pants is with this yarn, is that I try to match my outfits with her. I think it's super cute. We don't always do matchy-matchy, but I try to kind of be subtle about it. If I'm wearing something blue-green, her outfit has something blue-green in it. So we kind of match in themes or colors. And last winter, Wool and the Gang came out with this Blake minimal cardigan, and it had this mother of pearl pin, and I'm a sucker for pearls and cardigans. So I bought the yarn, which was this yarn, and the pattern, and I knitted and knitted, but I never finished the cardigan. My plan is to finish this cardigan for sure soon, and then I'll knit her pants in the same yarn, and when I wear the cardigan, she can wear the pants and we'll match, and it'll be adorable. But this is the cardigan that I have. Obviously it's not the cleanest cardigan ever, but I'm done knitting it. I just need to sew the dang thing, and I'm too lazy to do it because I'm not good at sewing. It's not my favorite thing. And so yeah, when I finished knitting this, the sewing was too much for me, so I gave up on it. Yeah, so yeah, the knitting, I did not do a clean job, and now I see there's anyways, so this is what I have right now, but I am for sure going to, and here's another whole sleeve that I need to sew on, but I'm going to finish this by the end of November. Maybe we'll have it done by Thanksgiving. I'm recording videos now, so I'm holding myself accountable. I'm gonna finish this by Thanksgiving, and hopefully her pants also by Thanksgiving. We'll see. But this is what I have, and I also like to wear muted neutral colors, browns and reds, but muted are my favorite ones. And I want to make a bigger excuse me, bigger me-made closet with pieces that I hand knitted, both because I really like knowing I made something myself, and I think it's more sustainable. It's not necessarily cheaper because especially Wool and the Gang kits are pretty expensive, and even the Selma sleep suit ended up being more expensive as the suits that I would have bought from regular fast fashion stores. But I keep telling myself this is a better quality, I'm making it, so if I was going to buy something made with the same yarn, it would have been a lot more expensive. That's how I'm convincing myself. So yeah, my goal is to make more me-made garments. I have quite a lot of patterns and sweaters worth of yarns that I have acquired since 2020, but I've never really knitted them. Not necessarily because they were hard, but because as much as I love knitting and learning and working with my hands, there is a point when I'm making a garment, especially like I realized with the Blake sweater, is that there's a decent chunk of the sweater that is the same stitch, and you have to just keep going row after row after row. And I sometimes get a little bit over it. I enjoy knitting, but knowing that I've only done 2 rows and I have like 90 rows to go and each row is like 120 stitches, it gets overwhelming. That's why I start sweaters, I do the ribbing, and then I don't give up, I forget about them. So my goal is to follow through with my patterns. We'll see. And the last thing I have is this yarn. This was a sweater that I frogged. I knitted and frogged the whole thing. This is Crazy 60 Wool from Wool and the Gang, and this is the color, or not Bordeaux. It's one of the red colors. It's not really red. I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up. It's more of an aubergine color. Very beautiful. The yarn is soft. It's the super bulky, super chunky yarn. And this was the Sonic sweater. So back in 2020, beginning of the pandemic, where the super chunky sweaters were all the buzz, but the gigantic needles, I totally bought into the trend, bought the kit, bought the needles and the yarn, knitted the whole thing. But when it was done, I did not like how it looked on me. And again, I think it's just my sewing skills that really messed up the sweater. So I frogged the whole thing. I have like 2-3 balls. Maybe I make the Sonic sweater again, although I'm not sure if it's gonna look any better. Maybe a little bit better. I feel like I've improved, but I'm open to different patterns. I'm going to actively look for more patterns and see if I can make something else with the chunky Crazy 60 Wool yarn. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you were listening and knitting at the same time, hopefully you made some progress. Let me know what you're working on in the comments, whether you're sewing or crocheting or you're knitting. Let me know what you have on your needles or what you're thinking about putting on your needles and working on next. I'm excited to see what everyone is working on. Maybe we can all learn about a new pattern. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Maybe come back next time for more chatty videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye.